Hello and welcome back, everyone. Here we are for another top 8 video or discussion video. I just felt like making this one. I was going to make this one back in February for Valentine's Day, but never got around to it, so I decided I'll make it now. Also could have done it for International Women Day, but again, never got around to it. So this is my top 8 favorite legendary women or legendary creatures specifically. It's not including planeswalkers. Otherwise, my top 7 would be planeswalkers with one creature making the top. Now these are my favorite for different reasons. Some will be aesthetics, purely and simply. Others will be when I started playing Magic or at certain times in Magic. This is a card that really stuck out to me, and some of them will be because there was a really awesome cosplayer who cosplayed that character, and I really liked the way they looked as that character, and so that character really stuck out to me more so than it ever did before. Um, yeah, so like I said, it could be for any of those reasons, as shallow or as deep as they could be. You know. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's go ahead and hop in and let's talk about some awesome women in Magic. So number 8 is Yeva Nature's Herald. This card was printed in M13, and that was back when I'd been playing Magic for a little while, but still pretty early on. I hadn't been playing for too long at that time. This was one of my first ever generals I had in EDH. I thought she was super cool. Her ability was super sweet. She gave your green creatures flash. I thought that was awesome. Plus, I really liked her big bear companion she has. Her design is really cool. I like her dress. It looks really, really nice. I also have a thing for elves, apparently. I don't know. Because I really like Nissa. I don't know. So maybe that has a factor to do with it too. Overall, I really liked her a lot. And honestly, I thought the ability, she had flash, and she could give your other green creatures flash was awesome. That was so cool to me because that was something I never saw before. When I was starting to play Magic, the only things I ever saw have flash were blue creatures or blue spells or stuff like Leyline gave flash to, or gave it as if it had flash. So that was super cool that a green card could do that to me. You know, which is still pretty rare effect from as far as can tell, but not nearly as uncommon as I thought it was back in M13. All right, so our next female, if it'll go, is Drana Kalastria Bloodchief. So now she, of course, is a vampire from Rise of Eldrazi. She was one of the creatures that I had built one of my very first Magic decks around. It wasn't particularly good, but it was a lot of fun. I really liked her. And again, she's got these really cool badass horns. She's, holding fire. She's really sweet. She was also really cool because in the deck I played her and I won a lot of games with her ability. Her ability is basically X and 2 black. Target creature gets -0/-X until the end of turn, and Drana Kalastria Bloodchief gets +X/+0 to the end of turn. So it's really cool. Kill something, pump her, and attack for a lot. Back then when I was playing Magic in Rise of Eldrazi, when I first started, because I started the end of World Wake, the start of Rise of Eldrazi, she was super cool to me, and of course, I barely had any cards, so this effect to me was so powerful, I couldn't even believe it. It was awesome. It was removal and a super powerful attacker. Plus, she flies. Sign me up. Plus, at the time I was 17, so I really like the art a lot. The whole vampire aesthetic to me is really cool. I really like her. I think she's awesome, and I still to this day do. If I ever really got into paper, like EDH and stuff like that, I would probably build a mono black EDH deck with her as the general with vampire theme, just because of nostalgia. Not because it would be any good necessarily, but just for nostalgia base. And that's it. I really like her outfit. Her little getup is really cool. Her cloak in the back is really nice. The gloves look, almost demonic as the way they ride up on her arm. Super awesome design. I think she is an absolute hit out of the park when it comes to design and the theme of vampires draining your enemy to death, and then you get stronger through it. I think is super. On flavor to start with, but also just really What's the word I'm looking for? Really cool to see in a card. I love it when cards have a flavor they're going with, and they really fit. It really feels like it fits well. Um, I really like that a lot. So, all right, on to number 6. This is Meren of Clan Toth. So this was when I first started playing Legacy on MTGO. I played a lot of Nick Fit because that was kind of like the cheapest deck I could afford. Because it could play blue, but it didn't have to have all the forces and all of the other really expensive blue cards on Magic Online. So she was super cool. So that was one thing I really liked about her. I played a lot of games with her. She did a lot of work. Her first printing was in Commander Anthology, which I'm still not really sure what Commander Anthology is. She also was in Commander 2015. Her ability, of course, pretty sweet with alongside Nick Fit, is whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. Beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. That card's converted mana cost is less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have. Return to the battlefield. Otherwise, you put it in your hand. So it's super cool because it rebuys your creatures. If you have more experience counters, it goes into play. That's awesome. Otherwise, it just went back in your hand. So it was cool with Veteran Explorer, even just being able to bring it back and just be able to have another thing to sack. Also, her design is very dark and very gritty. She's clearly very tough and tribal. I really like that. Her little beast companion behind her is super cool. And she's a 3/4 4-mana legendary creature in green and black that is awesome. Again, this is another one that more so for her ability than her aesthetic, but I still think her aesthetic is really cool. It feels like someone dressed like you'd expect from out of a Disney movie almost, except a little more gritty and tough. So the next one is we talked about there was that narrow category where someone was pretty much exclusively I like cards pretty much exclusively for the fact that the cosplayer portrayed them, and that really I like that cosplayer as that character. Jhoira is definitely one of those. Jhoira's art is nice. At least the captain, the Weatherlight captain one. This one is really nice. The old one, not. I don't like it so much. It's kind of weird. Some of it's bad, just not my not my preference in art. But anyway, this was a cosplayer. I believe it was her Twitter is Tabby Toe Claus. I think that's who it was. I don't remember now. I probably should have looked that up before I started making this video, huh? Probably. Anyway, I didn't, but I don't remember. Anyway, if I do remember, I will put their Twitter in the description of the video. Anyway, I really like the way she did it, and I think even she was in a video of the professors, Tolarian Community College's YouTube channel, a YouTube video. She dressed up as Jhoira for the video, and it was really, really cool. I really liked the way she looked, and I mean she's obviously very attractive, but Jhoira itself is also like really cool. She's in the world of Magic the Gathering, there are so many powerful demons and monsters and male characters. It's really cool to see a female character like Jhoira who she's not overtly bestial or demonic, or she doesn't have anything like that gives her this clearly okay, yeah, it makes sense why you'd be in charge. No, she just looks like a normal human being who's in charge, captain of the Weatherlight ship, on Dominaria, which has all the history of Magic, all these insane planeswalkers, all these insane demons, all these insane things going on. I really like her a lot because to me she feels the most human out of that area, and she's achieved such an awesome goal. Story-wise, of course, she's been through a lot of stuff with the Weatherlight, with Teferi, and with Karn, with all these other characters on Dominaria. And that's something that, after the fact, has added to my like of her design and her character. And it was really cool to see her in Dominaria. Hopefully, we'll see her back in M21. Is that what the next set would be? Whatever the next core set would be. All right, moving on from her to Teysa Karlov. So Teysa, of course, she is a member of the Orzhov Guild. She's not their leader, but she is definitely a higher up. She's a really notable figure. Appeared every single time we've gone to Ravnica, which is sweet. Again, this one's a much more aesthetics I really like the way her design is, the way she looks. Um, as far as gameplay, I've never played a game with her that I can remember. So, um, yeah, she looks so demanding, so strong, and so unique. She just really has this feel to her of kind of what's the word, like of royalty, of that she's powerful and just demands respect. Her design is really sweet. I really do like it a lot. Of course, this is from her Teysa Envoy of Ghosts card from Dragon's Maze. Um, and it's cool, and she always fits really well in with whatever the Orzhov theme of the set is. Her last version, which was self-named, it doubled your token creation from dying triggers and stuff like that. Or just doubled her dying triggers. Or your dying triggers, whatever they were. She's really cool. I really like her design. Orzhov is a guild that to me always kind of felt super like mysterious and interesting. And I feel like she really fits in there. And honestly, when I think of the guild, immediately after Obstat, I think of her. Like she comes to mind when I think of the guild. And I think that's one thing I like a lot about her is that she's in the forefront of my mind when I think about Orzhov and what the guild represents. Number 3 on our list is Thalia. I kind of regret choosing this art for Thalia, but I chose one of the whatchamacallit, the Secret Lairs art. I like Thalia a lot. She's really cool. Mostly for gameplay purposes is why I like her. I'm a pretty big fan of like the Death and Taxes and like taxing type decks. I've always loved Thalia against Storm decks and Modern, things like that. So she's much more of a play position, why I like her. Plus she does have a cool design. She's cool in Humans. Humans is a deck I play frequently and really enjoy playing, and she's a big part of why that deck is as powerful as it is because she's part of the disruptive package. Of course, she got a pretty sweet printing in Eldritch Moon too, the 3-cost Thalia that makes your opponent's creatures and non-basic lands come into play tapped. Really sweet. That card, more than I've enjoyed playing that one, that card has pissed me off more times than not. So, which is pretty sweet. I don't know how many times I've said the phrase "pretty sweet" in this video already, but I feel like it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot more than it should have been. But yeah, she's really cool, and she definitely has that vibe of, strong, fearless, brave, courageous. She definitely feels like the type of character that would, if Innistrad was going to be completely eradicated, she definitely feels like one of the characters that would be the last standing, fighting for it. Now, I don't know what her actual story is. I know the Innistrad story, or the Eldritch Moon Return to Innistrad story pretty well, but I don't know the story the first time very much. So I don't really know what her story is. Like I said, I like her more from a gameplay perspective as opposed to a character perspective, or even an aesthetic perspective. Yeah, I like her a lot. She's really cool. All right, and number 2 is Avacyn, Angel of Hope. Avacyn to me, the look is just amazing. That the like white silverish hair with all black outfit. I really like that design a lot. I think Soren and I have similar tastes in how we would create our angels. Anyway, her story and her design are what stick out to me the most. She's one of the reasons why I do like Soren as much as I do as a planeswalker, or as a character, is because he's the one who created Avacyn. And along with that, Avacyn's story is pretty sweet. So Avacyn, of course, is one of the planeswalkers that is not planeswalkers, is a creature that was basically protecting over and trying to keep the peace in Innistrad, and ends up getting trapped with Griselbrand in the Hell Vault. Now, it's pretty badass that she was stuck in the Hell Vault for all that time with Griselbrand, but it's also pretty badass that she was able to go toe-to-toe with Griselbrand. Because he's a pretty tough demon. So, of course, unfortunately, our second time returning to Innistrad, or our time when we return to Innistrad, she gets kind of turned mad, and Soren is forced to destroy her, to unmake her, actually, specifically it is. And it's depicted, of course, in the in one of the white black one. Removal spell the format, exile target creature, target online permanent, and you take 3 damage. Anguished Unmaking, there we go, that's what it's called. But yeah, I really like Avacyn. She's super awesome. And her spear is just like, it's that symbol is so entwined with Avacyn or with Innistrad block. It's awesome. Innistrad's story is so cool. It's got to be one of my favorite planes, hands down. Maybe that's another list I should do. My favorite planes. Its story's super cool. Of course, I'm a little biased because Liliana's one of my favorite planeswalkers, and she's had something to do with something. Her card has appeared in every single time we've appeared on Innistrad, but I really like this set, or the story behind Avacyn. I like her design a lot. She's a cool character. She's a cool design. She's an awesome angel. I mean, 10 mana, indestructible, makes your other stuff indestructible or something like that. Pretty sweet. So, and then after that, our number 1 is Mael the Anima. So basically, this one is purely a nostalgia standpoint. So she is a Naya creature. Her ability lets you pay mana, and I believe if you control a creature with 4 or greater, you can look at the top X cards of your library and add top some number of your cards in your library and put a creature into play with certain convert mana cost. I think it's something like that. Anyway, this was the very first commander I ever made. A bunch of my friends at our local game store were going to play some Magic, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to play?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I don't have any command. I don't have a commander, or I don't have an EDH deck, or at the time it was just commander. Or no, it was EDH. I'm confused. I don't remember, man. It's a long time ago." So anyway, a buddy of mine was going through my trade binder and was like, "Oh, well, you have a bunch of these cards like this," and found Mael, and yeah, threw a deck together. We threw a deck together really quick, and it was super fun. And I ended up deciding I like this deck a lot. I like this general a lot. I'm going to work with it and keep building it and improving it. And it wasn't the EDH I spent the most money on, but it was one that I put a lot of time and effort into and thought. Yeah, I like I said, I really, really liked it. Her, and for that reason, like the same reason right now, she's my avatar in MTGO. Again, she's very nostalgic to me. Reminds me a lot of really good times when I was younger playing Magic. That original play group we had when I first started playing EDH and stuff like that was awesome. They were super inviting, super welcoming, super nice to teach me stuff and show me stuff and help me get cards and trade me cards, and definitely not like fair trades. They would way undertrade themselves just to help me get good cards for the deck, or cards that would fit really well, or cards that I liked for the deck. And it was really awesome, and I really appreciated it. But it was just a different time, much kind of more easy time, especially nowadays with everything going on with COVID-19, and it was a much more relaxed time, much more free and easy, fun time. But yeah, so that is my top 8 favorite legendary women in Magic. Again, I excluded Planeswalkers because Planeswalkers consist of most of my top 8. Like I said, it'd probably be male and then 7 female Planeswalkers, to be honest. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video. Like I said, alright, and we'll catch you guys next time.